Just finish the ayah or the dua that you're reciting, and then inshallah just one by one, just relate whatever you need to relate.
So, after transferring, I met Hazzab in the Zawiya, and they mentioned come over to myself. So I came over and I conveyed salams, and then I asked forgiveness for not following their instructions and their amals and things like this. And then they mentioned that it is okay if you are trying to rectify, but there are people who are not rectifying, and we are not pleased with these people. So it is good that you are trying to rectify something like this. And then we went on a journey. We began to walk from the Zawiya, and we ended up in a desert area. And then it's like we were going towards Makkah Sharif in the olden days. And then Hassan mentioned to look up, and he said to me, "What do you see?" And they mentioned, and then I mentioned that I see trees and greenery and these types of things. And then Hassan mentioned to the nearest meaning and effect that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need means. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something to be, He just says be, and it is. So the lesson to learn from this is, whenever we are going through anything or something like this, always seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then we walked through the.
Just stop you there, mashallah. So first, a bit of guidance in there is for myself and all of us here, and also who are listening, is that fundamentally, a lot of us, Purane Sati, as I also say, new Satis, Purane Sati, every Satis who are there, is that initially you have a energy and burst, and you may be doing your azkars and your amals, and then it wanes, it goes less. Your instructions, following the instruction goes less. Sometimes it withers away, and then what happens? You try to rectify, show yourself again, pick yourself again, and again you fall. Falling in that instant that you become disconnected. You don't do the amals again, you don't focus again, and so on. So the thing that displeases the Mashayikh is, and also you could say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is not the fact, yes, obviously committed sin and doing wrong is bad. The thing that will actually put people to hellfire isn't the fact they committed the sin, it's the fact that they did not do tawbah. And the thing about this is that when they're saying the Mashayikh are pleased and displeased, is that trying is the fundamental element that we have to achieve. That this is something which is within us. Yes, what will happen is that as seekers, as even Muslims, human being, we will err, we will make mistakes. There will be times when we will do the amals, there will be times when we will do sin. We haven't carried out the instruction. As the Sahabas told us to do a certain amals, or maybe certain instruction they wanted us to do, a duty to carry out to do, and whatever they told us to do. And we haven't done it. And we haven't done it to the best ability. Okay, yes, be remorseful. Doesn't mean that that's it, completely now go away. You stop everything, abandon everything, disassociation of everything. You don't want to know anybody. You go and become completely devilish, etc. No. Tawbah kare, do tawbah, and make and try to rectify that. And then, if it's the case that you know you're not a responsible person, don't ask for it in the first place. Aapka aadat hai that you know you're going to be lazy, don't ask for it. Anyway, if you are selected to do something without your volition, without your choice, ask help, like the brother saying, seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seek help and guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the help will be there if you're sincere. What happens is that when we start doing things is that we stop completely doing and abandoning, completely attending the gatherings, completely attending, associating with brothers, we don't want to know them, and we start pinpointing, blaming others. This brother's fault, that brother's fault, this is it. To a certain extent, when you will start, remember this on a serious note, if you stop nitpicking on brothers, our spiritual brothers, let's just say a spiritual brother, it's the foolishness is that we're all ill. None of us are here are purified. We've got diseases in us. So when you're saying, oh, he's a problem, this brother's a problem, that brother's a problem, well, you're saying is that I'm ill and he's also ill as well. I'm ill and he's also ill. It's like going to a hospital and saying, the problem with this hospital, they're all ill. Well, we are ill. There is issue. This is the problem. Yes, some will have certain deficiencies. Some will have different weaknesses. That shouldn't actually deter you from coming to the gatherings. That shouldn't hinder you from still being with the Hazrat Sahib, doing the amas. You didn't come for the brothers. You didn't come for any job or responsibility or any other things. You came for rectification of your own self, for tazkiyah, for elevation, for enlightenment towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His nearness and qurb and pleasure. What they're saying is that what makes us pleased is that, yes, you made a mistake, try. You got the ability to stand up again. You got the ability to do that thing again, to rectify that thing again, to try again. Every single one of us has that ability to try. And as long as you're trying, Mashaykhs are happy. Remember this, don't let shaitan ever fool you and deceive you thinking, oh, you're barbad, you're always failing, you can't even get past the first sheet or the second sheet, or you're not going anywhere, you can't even see anything, you can't hear anything, you're not actually experiencing these things. No, try. You try, Mashaykhs are happy, Rasul is happy, Allah is happy. You give up, this is when they become deceased, because now they know you're in the lap of shaitan and nafs. And that's what's going to happen. That's the thing that's going to take a person to hellfire, really. Laziness and not doing tawbah. What is the disease of the laziness is that you are lazy to do what tawbah. Every single one of us, we know when we make a mistake, we have there and then we should actually try to actually rectify that mistake and do tawbah. As soon as you're done, that's it, you're clear. Hisab kitab is done. Now you just, okay, I've erred, I've mistake, carry on. Carry on with whatever you're supposed to do. Do your amals, do your prayers, do your dhikr. Carry on. Element about that is that then seeking help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In your journey, in your work, in your provision, whatever you're doing, there is nothing which is impossible. Sometimes what we're saying is that, for example, the barren land could represent our soul, our deeds. I'm not saying this particular. Just imagine that there's a barren land. We're barren. Sometimes our land is barren of any deeds, of goodness, of any akhlaq, or a'mals, or deeds. But for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is nothing. Your land is barren. The land of your heart is barren. It's completely bereft of any goodness. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who doesn't need you to plant a seed, who doesn't need to plant anything. He can, from that barren land, make something grow. In other words, you may be sinful. You know you are trying to decorate yourself with piety. Outwardly, you put the amama on, you put the jubba on, you put in a beard on. You're trying, but you know you're not the pious people. You know for a fact that you're not one of them. You are barren, in other words. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His fazl and grace, if you seek help in Him and His assistance, and you seek His fazl and grace, what will happen is that with that, it means He can grow you to becoming and flourishing your heart with the lands of goodness and good akhlaq and good character and good deeds. Make that land which was barren, full of fruits, full of plantations and vegetation in which others, yourself will benefit and others can benefit. So reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking help in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in whatever you're doing, whatever amals you're doing. Maybe you're not being steadfast in your amals. Seek help and rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not in your own power. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power. Go on.
And then we came close to the Kaaba Sharif, and then we were, myself and his son, we were in Ihram, and we began to do Tawaf. And after the Tawaf, we were both sat down opposite the Kaaba Sharif, and his son mentioned to myself to do the zikr of Allah. And when I began the zikr, I could see light from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transferring onto the Kaaba, then to Hansab, and then onto myself. And then after this, they mentioned to do Muraqba, picture the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your heart and focus on this. I tried to focus, but I kept coming in and out of focus. And then Hassab mentioned, let's go. Hassab mentioned to the nearest meeting, let's go to Medina Sharif. So we began to walk, and then we had shade. Then we rested for shade under a tree, and then Hassab called me over and asked me for some water. Because I had some water on me, and I felt a bit ashamed that they had to ask and that I didn't offer any. Then I became nervous and I poured the water in, and it overspilled. And then they mentioned to me, it's okay, just relax. And then after this, they told me to do the Muraqba once again. And then from there, we transferred back to Hyde and then into the Zawiya and then the Amal, and then the Ascension Amal ended there.
So here also for generality is that seeking help in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, following the instruction of the guide of one's teacher, one's sheikh, and then doing dhikr is the thing that will help you to get qurban nearness Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With that, coupled with that, the ihram is signifying purity, and tawbah is that doing tawbah, that is the thing which will help you to actually get nearness and qurb of Allah subhanahu, connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kaaba represents Allah subhanahu's house, his qurban, his nearness and connection there. Once this is basically showing you a journey from your barren land towards the pleasure, towards the journey. This is actually showing you a journey, how one actually can traverse the journey easily and quickly. Then assistance is that here is a lot of the times is that we wait for Hazrat Sahib to actually for us to actually give something. If you can see that they need, they're in discomfort, they actually need a little help, then one should actually wait. You should offer straight away. So if you can, for example, there's a chair, there's a kursi, and you're sat on the kursi, you can see that your teacher is standing. You should automatically get up, and offer the kursi. Offer the chair, the place is seating. You should always give preference, in other words, to one's teacher than yourself. That is the first sign of actually reaching the stage of fanafsha, is giving preference to one's teacher over oneself. So you had the water, yes, very good, but what happens is that you should always want that for them. You should always have that for them. You should always like that for them over yourself. Sacrifice yourself and give that to one's guide. And that is what the sakina really will be. The bliss and the aram and peace is when you sacrifice one's desire for one's teacher, one's guide. This is one principle usul, is that the golden principle is that giving preference to your teacher's command and his likes and dislikes over yours, is that is where really our salvation lies, and that is where really our journey will actually prosper. Otherwise, it actually erodes and actually get destroyed and it gets contaminated. Inshallah. May Allah SWT bless you, mashallah, mubarak, a blissful journey. And Allah SWT help us all in this journey of ours. But Ijaz, you don't have anything to relate? Yeah. What was your experience? I'm not your traditional or those. I like to pick on people who don't normally relate. So I like to ask, how was your experience?
At the beginning it was very difficult because first of all I was very emotional. Also I was like thankful I'm here because I'm here after a few weeks. And then after that, the Lataifs, I found it quite hard to concentrate. Then eventually I got through them all. Then after that I transferred. As soon as I transferred, I saw Hazrat Sahib. We were in kind of like in like a field or something like that. Then I went towards them and they go to me that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And they go that you know the solution and you need to carry on. And we stayed there for a bit. Then after that we went to Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Tabbag, Rahmatullah alayhi, and then after that it was like it wasn't clear. Sometimes it was clear. And then we went inside the Mazar Sharif and then inside the Qabr Mubarak, and then After that, it's do Namaste Salam, and then they go there. You can ask guidance from them. And then they said the same thing, that your teacher has given you guidance, you should. Because really, I'm not doing these Muraqbas, and
that is good, and also, yes, what I'm trying to say is that not good that you're not doing more. What I'm trying to say is that first sign and stage of, if you don't have that remorse, you'll never change. The regret and the remorse, one can never change. And the successful sign is the fact that you're actually here, and you know, and you're admitting, yes, there's a weakness and deficiency there. And that's a good sign. Now the thing is that it is literally, sometimes what happens is that we make it more difficult than what it is. Simple thing is that you know what to do, it's just about doing it. Now you're running the marathon. You're a person now, to run a 26-mile marathon is going to take 8 hours, 9 hours, but look at the preparation you're doing to take. Look at the sacrifice you're doing. That's for a physical journey. That's only going to last you 8 hours. What about this journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What sort of preparation do you think you need to do? What sort of sacrifice do you think you need to make? If we can do this sort of sacrifice for a small journey, for a small race, which is also for pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for goodness, for others, yourself as well as others. But this is where you have to be a bit more selfish, where this goodness, this journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is for me and myself and for my benefit. And I should now want to actually be able to sacrifice and be able to actually give all to this journey. So if you do still, there are certain things that I know from the previous conversations, you should really be sitting with Dr. Shah Alam and then furthermore get further rectification if there's anything else. I know he's given you guidances before, but if there's anything else that needs to be actually updated or amended, maybe sometimes what it is that I know a lot of the brothers, what they'll say is that I've seen Hosea, it's been maybe 4 months, 5 months, I'm going with the same problem, same issue. Don't get disheartened. What I'm trying to say here is that if it's the same problem, same issue, sometimes they might be giving you the same solution but in a different way. But the thing is that you're going to the doorstep and you're asking for forgiveness. And that is what the servant can do. He can only, what a person can do is that, is there any other ilah that we can turn to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We'll make mistake, there's nobody else that we can turn to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Here is that there's no other teacher that we want, nor do we actually desire apart from our teacher. And he's the only person that we want to actually get guidance from. So fall at their feet again. Let them hit you, let them slap you, it doesn't matter. It's our goodness. So if it means that actually getting guidance again, sit with Dr. Shalom and get refresh any of the new guidance or any old guidance that you had, and then really, really restart and refocus, re-energize. Just like you energizing yourself, every day you probably change your diet. You probably change your routine. You probably change even your clothing, your way of thinking, the way your mentality, and you're sacrificing a lot of hours for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for this little journey. If you take that as a macrocosm, from this 1 8 hour, 9 hour, I don't know how long it'll take you to the 26 mile, what sort of efforts do you now think you'll take for you to do a journey that lasts years and years and years? So put in perspective as well. And inshallah, do sit and do actually, even if it's the same thing, refresh. And that will help you. One important note for you, I will say, is that it is pivotal and crucial that you don't abandon these gatherings. Whether many brothers, you see, they look at, first of all, I always say this is that Khuda ka bande damag istemal kare, is that don't look at the brother who's doing the gathering. Don't look at, maybe you don't get along with me. I'm just saying, I'm just playing. You might not get along with me. You might not you don't get along with another brother, or you don't get along with another sister, or you don't get along with another person. Don't look at that person. Your job, your relationship is what? Is that it's a hukum of Hazrat Sahib, it's a command of our teacher to attend. I'm attending. My fayda is there. That person is like a dummy to you. That person is like an invisible person for you. What your responsibility, like at the beginning I said, is that giving preference to the hukum of the teacher is that you come here, you sit here, you are winner. You are winner. Even though you don't get along with that person, you don't like that person, maybe you have some difference with that person, you are a winner. You've won. You've benefited. Whether that person is whether you understand the words that person is saying or not saying, doesn't matter. You've won, and you'll feel it as well. Spiritually, you'll feel it. That you'll feel that you've actually benefited. Certain things, traits might have been going, and certain etiquettes might have actually been removed, but you'll feel that as well. So don't look at the person. Don't look at, oh, I don't like this brother, I'm not going to go. People find out that, look, I'm not going to go to him. No, I don't think. Don't do that. Hukam wa Hisab, they've told us to go, I go. Khalas, end of story. That is where many brothers talk about Fanafi Sheikh. Brothers will put pictures of Hisab on their Facebook, they put pictures on WhatsApp, showing the manifestation of love. Sayyidina Qadir Jilani Rahmullah, what they said was that, where's the dalil for it? They said that with anything in this world and akhirah, you'll need dalil for it. You need evidence for it. This is the evidence of love? Is this the evidence of love? You just need to, I'm not criticizing anybody here. What I'm trying to say here is that show, not just with words or just with pictures or images, manifest that through your body, the teachings of what Hazrat actually teaches. This is for me, I'm saying this, not you, but myself. Sometimes the hypocrisy in myself. So I'm trying to rectify myself, and also try to help yourselves as well, is that manifest that. Manifest that. Show that love. Really, truly you love Hazrat. Instead of it's easy just to click, here you go, I love Hazrat. There's a picture, wow, what a wonderful picture. That shows me how much I love them. But I can't move 2 steps to go to the thing what they said is that, come to my gatherings. Go to my retreats. Convey the message. Carry on. What was the message that they sent before they left? They sent a specific message on WhatsApp. They sent a specific message, carry on, may Allah bless you. I'm just giving you a parable in my word, is that the message is that may Allah help you in this journey. So we're going for suffering to abroad now. May Allah help you. Whenever they go abroad, this is the message they give, is that carry on with the work. Carry on with the mission. Now, what is that mission? Is that we're trying to save others, ourselves, but also others. Sometimes we need to intermission where we have to save our own brothers first. And that is what it's becoming a lot of the times. So really, if it's a case that, yes, if you are thankful that Allah enabled you to be here today, good attitude, that's how we should be, and pray Allah brings you more often with regularity. Okay, with regularity, and Allah, if you're grateful, Allah will increase you more in the blessing, inshallah. Come on, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. I had transferred and met Hazrat Sahib in a place where the walls were white and had given them my salam. They then said, look at this mirror. We showed a body with no face and no face. Then they mentioned that a body can take up many forms, and that each form that it takes, the body should be like a white aura. The body should have a white aura. Also, they said the form that it takes will destroy a person if they don't follow the path. Then they began by saying,
this is important actually, important to say is that it is referring to, but I know is that the nafs can actually, you are seeing an example of when you're showing the image is your own self, oneself, and basically is that the nafs, not necessarily yourself, but the nafs can actually take many different forms. It can take many different shakl, depends on the characteristics of that individual. So whatever overwhelming characteristic that individual has, it takes that form and it takes that shakal. And yes, and certain characteristics, unfortunately, what they're saying is that it should be humanistic characteristic and form and in pure state. And that's when the nafs is purified, nafs al-mutma'in. When it's become nafs al-mutma'in, it's in that pure, refined form. When it changes, if this is not refined and it's not purified and it's not in a humanistic form, as you're saying, then it can be dangerous. And it can actually destroy a person if they don't rectify it before death. So you carry on.
And then they began by saying, the prophetic course which is taught here helps a person's body outwardly and inwardly by purifying the soul. You will prevent yourself by committing a sin with the organs and body. Also this mentioned that purifying the outward, your inward benefits more than your outward. And then I seen the name of Allah Azza wa Jalla and began Muraqba dua.
That's the beauty of what the Mashayikh actually. Many people say is that when it comes to tazkiyah, when it comes to purification, why is it that you start with the outer organs of the body and not with the purification of the heart? So it's easy, you see, what it happens, it's easy to deal with the outer elements because they're like, the way you could say that the disease, the core diseases like jealousy, hatred, animosity, lust, they're like embedded into the heart, and what's happening is that you could say it's like a fire or a flame which is furnacing inside you, and then you see flames and you see the smoke coming out of that fire. The example of that smoke is what you do in the organs of the body. So these are signs, what you're doing. So the smoke is very easy to deal with. Very easy to deal with. And then if you can actually reduce the smoke, take the smoke away, divert the smoke away, then you can actually tackle the fire slowly. So hence why, what you're seeing is that these limbs of the body, organs of the body, they are direct manifestation of the disease that you have within you, that we have. And what's happened is that if we tackle the outer, it's easier to tackle the outer because then automatically, internally what you're doing is that you are channeling and you're actually molding the inner towards those good traits as well by outwardly removing those bad traits. You're molding slowly. It doesn't mean it's rectified, but you're helping it for the preparation for it to be eradicated. Inshallah. Take it, mashallah.
I transferred and found the teacher in the field. I give salam and we then transferred to the mazar of the grand teacher. We sat outside and also give salam. Then the grand teacher said to the nearest meeting that those who sacrifice in the way of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu are truly the successful ones. For example, you have come to this gathering and you have sacrificed your time and energy to reconnect with Allah and His Messenger sallallahu. Likewise, those who come truly benefit because because those who sacrifice for Allah Allah does not let anyone's efforts go to waste. However, today we see people sacrifice Allah and His Messenger sallallahu for their own and worldly needs. Likewise, they are not successful, and in fact they are doing great harm to themselves because they are displeasing the Lord of the worlds and His beloved Messenger sallallahu to please others and themselves. Allah has sent many people to show us the true way. For example, look at the prophets of Allah. They sacrificed everything for Allah and they were the best of people. They would drop everything in a second for Allah and His Messenger sallallahu. Even if the whole world was against them, they would still sacrifice for Allah and His Messenger sallallahu. Likewise, we should adopt this way and truly see Allah's mercy and blessing descend upon us. Then the scene changed and we were outside the Rosa Mubarak and Hazrat Sahib began to recite the Rood and the vision faded.
So again, being reiterated, I think the common theme that we're hearing here is about qurbani and sacrifice. And sacrificing, for example, gatherings, sacrificing your little comforts and sleep, your little desires and little pleasures for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one will receive immense reward in this life or the akhirah, but also the spiritual benefit one cannot actually imagine. When you have something which, whenever you go against the nafs, whenever you go against it, you actually uplift yourself. You feel the shackles being removed. Beshak, it could be little things such as going a few minutes early to prayer. You feel automatically that you've beaten the nafs. It's a battle against one's nafs. So every time, for example, one of the mashaykhs, what they said once, is that whenever the nafs actually urges you to do any sin and evil, challenge it. Do qurban of it and refrain from that. So basically it's just an urge, it's like a whim, it's like a floating thought. Really, there's no pressure. It's just like, imagine if I was to tell you there's no strings attached, it's just like bubbles of air, and what we're doing is that we are thinking, oh, it's so powerful. It's gripping me. It's actually taking me and testing me. No, it's just air. It's just thoughts. It's just waves, which is there. And all you got to do is just divert it and challenge and divert your minds towards something else. You'll be successful. Definitely be successful. So it is about qurban, gatherings, tasks. Like, for example, we've got the conference which is coming up. That will need a lot of qurbani from a lot of brothers and sisters. We should be here now saying is that, why I say this is that the regular brothers will be doing it. Is that, but how can my name be? You should be thinking, how can I be of a value to it? Now you might be thinking, well, I don't know how to do media, I don't know how to do this, it doesn't matter. Your value is that your time, your effort, your sincerity is what Allah SWT is seeing. Best it could be the case that you go there, you're a person who opens the doors. You're a person who just directs people to the table. You can do that, can't you? It's everybody's concerted efforts that's needed. Every single one of us should be thinking is that how can we possibly make this conference, this seminar, as successful as possible? That's how we should be thinking. Not just thinking, oh, Brother Umar, he's the Dawah, Miro, Uncle, and this is part of the Sahab, this is part of the Sahab. They can do it. Let them do it. Why should I? No, everybody should be thinking, how can I be of a collective benefit so that there be success for this program as a collective unit? That's what we should be. What qurbani can I do? Is it the case that I can actually draw something, I can actually cut something, I can actually deliver something, I can actually hold something? What can I do to make this successful? That is what you should be thinking. Okay. Javed, do you want to relate anything? No? That's fine. Nobody else to relate? Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Jazak. Then we'll leave it here then. Take inshallah. Namaz here, I think Salat Isha is at 10 o'clock. So if you're more than welcome to